What's going on, you guys? My name is Carlos, and alongside me is Mike Denney. He is the head coach of the Gila River College. We're located here at Campo Verde High School. I'm going to be asking you some questions. Is that cool with you?
Absolutely.
So what does it take to transition from high school to college?
You know, that's a good question. I have 15 years of high school coaching experience, and what I've found is really the main difference is these guys are just a little bit bigger, faster, stronger. You know, they still have a lot of the same needs. It's still X's and O's. We still have 11 on each side of the ball, so not really a whole lot changes from a game standpoint. We're dealing with guys that are a little bit older, and in some cases dealing with a little bit more complex issues, living out on their own, having to contend with the school grind, take care of all of their collegiate classes and enrollment and advisement and those types of things. And so that's an extra variable that we don't get in high school. The other big difference, I think, would be recruiting. It's really nice to kind of have the ability to build your own team and find guys that fit your culture and your structure and that you want to invite into your organization. So I'd say those are the two biggest challenges or changes, I guess, differences when it comes to high school versus college.
Nice. And so for your expectation for the preseason, heading into the season, you recently got a 6-game winning streak. How do you carry that momentum going into the next season?
You know, I think we should be able to build off of the foundation that we've created and established. A lot of the groundwork is done. That's going to help our returning guys that are coming back, utilize them as leaders. We're going to create some leadership councils amongst our team. And also, I think we've done a really good job of bolstering and improving our coaching staff. And I think that's going to make for a big difference, a big positive difference for our guys to be led by good quality men that I like, know, and trust, that I feel will be a good fit for what it is we're trying to do, not just from a football standpoint, but from a life coaching standpoint. So build off of what we started and hopefully keep the train on the right track and keep it moving and looking for another successful year.
And so what do you actually like? What details do you look for? What traits, what characteristics?
And coaches?
Yes, and the coaches.
You know, fortunately, the guys that I'm bringing on, I've had an opportunity to work side by side with for an extended period of time. And so just organically, you get to learn these guys, you know these guys, you know their families, you know the decision-making processes that they go through when tested or put in spots that require, ethical and morally sound choices to be made. So that's what I look for primarily. Guys that show up, guys that take it serious. We're not hobby coaches. We're here to help develop young men and give them opportunities to advance and get as much of their university education paid for as we can. And so I try to align myself with guys that are of the same belief, structure that I am. Mm-hmm. They also say it's never a bad idea to hire your weakness. So I've got a few that are very detailed and that can kind of compartmentalize things for us as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that combination hopefully will be a successful mix, and we'll do some good things with it.
So it's more than football, right? It's life. You got to transition their whole life, whatever background they're coming from.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a big part of it. Your football window is going to close, and it's going to close pretty quickly, and sometimes it closes for you. Mm-hmm. As an athlete, we don't always have the ability to determine when that's going to be, but you're going to need to be a man forever, and so we want them to be good husbands, good partners, good dads, good leaders in their families, and guys that we can be proud of in the community also.
Be that, example, set that forward. So do you have like an email where kids can DM or email you or trying to get noticed, send their film for?
Yeah, absolutely. So very active on Twitter at Coach Denney, very simple, CoachDenney. My email is Mike, M-I-K-E, Diesel, D-E-E-S-E-L 38 at gmail.com. And I would say Twitter is probably our biggest recruiting tool. Mm-hmm. Very easy to get a wide reach and have the ability to speak directly to kids, at the same time be able to share film and have an opportunity to evaluate them personally and then collectively as a staff.
And I can vouch for that as well, because on his Twitter, I DM him personally, and he was able to respond really quickly. So yes, Twitter is really effective. And then for our next question, I got to ask this. Who's your guys' rival? Who do you look forward to? Wow, that game is on everyone's mind.
The one that I really want back is with the team that won the conference last year. That's the Paladino Pumas. They're kind of the leaders in the clubhouse right now as far as last year's success. They're going to be loaded. They're going to have plenty of great guys. I know the staff over there are a bunch of good guys leading the charge there as well. And so They'll probably give us all we can handle. I know that for sure.
Right.
Salt River is going to be tough.
Salt
They always
River.
are. Salt River, those guys, have put together a really good program and have, had a lot of success, and I'm sure they're intending to continue to keep that going. So we'll have our hands full with those guys also.
And so was the chemistry was it beginning or instant, or did it take years for it to develop, with the coaching staff?
The guys that I'm bringing in have an extended period of time shared with each other at different levels. I know with a couple of new additions that we have, it'll take us a little bit. But again, I think if you get guys that want to pull the rope in the same direction and have the same, end goal or end result in mind, you can usually get there pretty quickly. It's just one of those things. We got to show up, do the work, and don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just
Start from the basics, right?
Put the time and effort in and build it, and it'll grow, and eventually it'll be something that we can all be proud of.
And so, what are some of the pros of going into a JUCO program?
I think it's great, especially for our state, to have this program in place, this conference available for guys that may be overlooked, for guys that are non-qualifiers, for guys that need a second chance or another opportunity. It is high-level football. We're having a great amount of success with placement, getting our guys out into four-year universities, and so
it's amazing.
It's awesome. I love the work that the league has done. It's building, it's growing, the notoriety is increasing, and we're starting to get calls from all over America from coaches looking for our guys because they know we're playing high-level football, and that just gives our kids that many more opportunities and us a chance to let this program do what it's designed to do, which is get them propelled off into their university education and get as much of that paid for as we can.
So last time I checked, you guys were 18th ranked nationally, right?
That was prior to last season.
Last season, okay.
Yeah, so we lost that national ranking in the Dirty 30, and so now we're kind of starting all over.
You guys are going to get it, man. Just keep going.
I hope so, man. That's the plan.
And so what are your current strengths and weaknesses, heading from the off season, heading into the season? What do you kind of see, pinpoint?
Good question. We got a lot of good skill returners, a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball that can do a lot of good things. Defensively, secondary-wise, we're going to be really good. Up front, defensively, I know we've got a couple guys that make a big difference that are going to return. Offensively, good night. We got a bunch of guys there, too, offensive linemen that I think are going to be special. This recruiting class is basically backfilling for a lot of depth, so we don't have much drop-off from our ones to our twos. That's ultimately my goal, is I want to run a group of twos out there that's as good, if not better, than my first group. That way we can go real hard, real long, and that's the key to it. Everyone's got a really good starting group, but by middle of the third, those guys are usually struggling.
Tired, yeah.
That's when I want to wick it up and really kick it in gear and try to take advantage of some people.
Finishing that momentum and also adding up the numbers, right? Having more players so that they can fill in towards the end of the game as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And so for our last question, what is your coaching philosophy?
That's a good question. It entails and it includes, I guess, a ton of different things. I've never really drilled down on just that one particular question, but I can tell you we're going to operate in a professional manner. We're going to keep the kids' best interest in mind. We're going to keep that first. We're going to win games and we're going to be successful, and we're going to just basically put together something that, again, everyone can be proud of, something that is designed to get kids where they want to go. If they can stay and keep that train on the right track, I have every reason to believe that we can do just that. So, but from a philosophy standpoint, is do the right thing, and always make good choices. Keep these kids in mind and keep them in the forefront of our decisions that we make. Protect the league, protect our team, protect our kids.
It's a brotherhood, right?
Absolutely.
Stick to the basics and everything like that.
You got it.
I appreciate this interview.
You got it, man.
Mike,
Yep.
This is Mike Denney. My name's Carlos, and we're out. Thank you.